All right. So here we are, post interview on the Portage Republicans GOP. They had all three of us on. Mont Hanley declined to participate, and they had Delano. I remember how to say his name right. It was Delano Scaife, Spencer Lemons, and your favorite candidate, Dion Bergeron, on for the. Like I told you last night, they had asked us to write two questions, and send them in, and they were going to ask one of them. Well, I guess the plans changed at the last moment, and they were going to. Do I accept calls? I don't know what kind of calls. If you want to, right now, my phone is my camera, so I'm not able to accept calls. But feel free to talk here.
If they want to call me, I can text them.
Yeah, if you want to call, but I don't want to put it here. My phone number's on my website, but hi, Jack. Thank you for joining us. So here we go, right? The questions that were asked, I can't send it here. I am in the middle of a show. You can, do you have Facebook? I don't know. It's 2L2Q1. I can't see I can't see who it is. It's from Periscope, which is Twitter. If you can get on Facebook and look up her, Elizabeth Bergeron, you can send her a message on Facebook Messenger. So Chill Vibe said, what's the topic of conversation? So we had a debate on Thursday of last week. Post debate, they had all three candidates come on, and just tonight, where we sent in two questions, and they were going to ask one, but then at the last moment, they decided to ask both, I guess. I don't know. Because we showed up, and they were like, okay, we're going to ask you two questions. Sweet, both my questions. My first question was about healthcare, right? And the second question was about how am I going to protect essentially the steel industry? How am I going to advocate for union members? Because there are a lot of union members in the first district, a lot. Yeah, and if they aren't in the union themselves, they know someone who is, they have friends that are union. It's been a very Republican position to kind of distance ourselves from the unions and say we support free trade. And don't get me wrong, I do support free trade. However, I do believe that it's really important that we protect our critical infrastructure, our industries, our steel. The steel industry alone, as I said before, is 1.98 million jobs depend on it, right? So I think it went well. I was able to tell people about my healthcare plan and get it out there. I was able to tell people about my plans for the union, the fact that I have a deep and personal connection to unions. I can't come home if I go to Washington and sabotage the steel mills or the steel industry.
Let me make this clear. He can't come home if he messes with the steel mills. Right. And he can't face his father-in-law and brother-in-law at holidays or any day in general if he messes with the steel mills. Right.
That's
an official statement from the White House.
Right. The mills are a critical part of the infrastructure here in the first district of Indiana. We have many union members. We have many people. Oh, there he is. There's my Trump. We moved him for the show or for the interview because there are those people that are easily offended. Personally, I love my Donald Trump. He was our Christmas tree when we first moved in here. We had garland and lights on him, Santa hat, the whole 9 yards. So I just wanted to get on real quick and talk to you about how I think it went really well. Delano Scaife, well, I did tell him that. Oh, so look, okay. So,
we're running out of time.
Okay, yeah. So look, my wife wants me to make sure and let you know how are we going to protect the steel industry. I have a plan, right? What's my plan? Well, first of all, Congress needs to phase out quantitative trade restrictions to avoid creating new barriers to production and sales, right? We need to industrial policies that would delay or distort adjustments to international competition. right? We need to protect our steel industry by maintaining domestic production levels above those that occur in open markets. Excuse me. I saw topics there on the thing. So an industrial policy for steel would damage competition and provide a framework for the progressive cartelization of steel markets worldwide. She did write it nice. It protects trade production, and it prevents loss due to unfair competition, which is what we had, right? With China, with India dumping sub-quality steel on our markets. We had a Congress that failed to act. We had a Congress that didn't do anything to protect our critical infrastructure, our critical manufacturing sectors, our steel industry. Congress did nothing. It took Donald Trump coming in and instituting fair trade with other nations, not just them taking advantage of us. We need the Justice Department decisions on steel mergers should be linked more closely to consideration of existing trade restrictions and their effect on domestic compliance. I got my wife here. We got to give a shout out after I finish. And ultimately, we have to prepare for automation because automation is coming. It is coming to our industries all around the world, particularly our steel industries, our automotive industries. Many, many jobs have already been lost due to automation. We can slow it down with the proper policies, the proper laws, but we can't stop it. We can't stop automation. It's going to take over, right? The only thing we can do is put the proper policies in place and be prepared for it, because we're going to have people that are going to lose their jobs due to automation. We have to create opportunities for training in that area, in training in automation. There are ways that we can do that. But ultimately, we need someone who's willing and able to go to Washington, D.C. and to fight for the rights of both union and non-union workers. As far as I know, I am the only candidate, at least on the right for sure, that doesn't agree that right to work is perfect.
No, you are.
I am. So yeah, the wife agrees. I am the only one that understands the issues with right to work legislation and understands that if allowed to continue, there's going to be a lot of people who are very unhappy.
You're also the only one that shared your USW survey.
Yeah, and that's another thing. As far as I know, let me know if another candidate has shared their USW survey. Let me know, because as far as I know, I'm the only one. And if anyone said something on that survey that is now different than what they said,
it's over.
We're going to have a problem. Jack makes a good point. When that happened in the 60s, right? Computers. People decided to learn new systems instead of complaining. Well, there were a lot of people that still complained. As a matter of fact, my mother-in-law used to be a phenomenal secretary. She was a legal assistant. She did tons of work, answered phones, typed, maintained schedules, did all kinds of stuff. With automation and with the advent of computers, she lost her job because she couldn't keep up with the technology. Unfortunately, that is an issue out there, right? So, yeah, we have an upside down pyramid in the healthcare system with an aging population that is consistently growing more numerous, and we have to figure out ways to address that. Our current healthcare system is not going to cut it. People are going broke. They're having to declare bankruptcy. People are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt, and they can't pay their bills, right? We need a system that's not going to make surprises. That's my healthcare system. So Paul, welcome back. He popped out and then back in. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate that. So it's down to the wire, right? It's down to the wire. We have a few days left. Today is the 29th. We have 4 days left until the primary on June 2nd. Now, I know a lot of you, these are, just so you know, these are my quick notes. right? I'm going to show you a little behind the curtain.
He was yelling
At what
statistics
we,
at me. I just threw him down.
I was saying, okay, take this down when we were doing our research for this. And look, that's the other thing. It's not just me. My wife helps me in every aspect of this. She is my rock. I've said that before.
Yay.
You get her too, and she knows a lot about our healthcare system.
In the general,
A
I
lot.
step back into white.
Yeah, in the general election, she will step back a little bit, but much of what I know about the healthcare system and ways to fix the healthcare system comes from her knowledge. You know, she does have degrees. She knows what she's talking about. Yeah, Paul says I won't even ask what my stuff all costs. Monthly testing is expensive itself. It is. It is. There are tons of ways that we as a people can reduce the amount that is spent on our healthcare system, on our yeah. So see, yeah, she's a boulder, right?
I'm a what?
A boulder. No, just a rock.
I'm a delicate flower.
She's a delicate flower, she says. So I want to give a shout out to Manic Meadery. I was able to pick up some bottles today. I will show you. Yeah. They had a release of. They had turnover Chernobyl, chocolate covered Chernobyl, and then what was the third one? It was like some other one that she didn't want. Yeah, it's something else. But this is this is turnover Chernobyl. This is the one that she most wanted. I don't know if you can read it. No, I could probably adjust it, but it just says turnover there. It says Manic Chernobyl. Really good stuff.
I went to high school with the owner.
And then she went to high school with the owner.
I'm friends with his aunt. I know.
Yeah, friends with his aunt, etc. The other one is chocolate covered Chernobyl. Ralph.
It is so good.
For after here, put this in there. So after we picked it up, the meadery, the Chernobyl, we went to lunch, and unfortunately, Liz had some stuff that she had to do. She had meetings today, so she wasn't able to join us. Oh yeah, I forgot to get the growler. Yeah, but we had a good time. It was delicious. The restaurant that I went to was fantastic. Their Italian beef was amazing. It really was. It was, and it's won many awards. It was really good. Really, really good. It's behind Shoop's in Crown Point, Jill and Marie's. And they got all kinds of stuff in there too. It's not just the sandwiches. They have biscotti.
Cannoli.
They have cannoli. They have what's the?
Is that where you got the coffee?
That's where I got the coffee too. Yeah.
This is the
Here,
best
bring me.
coffee ever.
Yeah, this is her
Also Michigan
favorite
City.
coffee.
It's a Michigan City business.
Yeah, it's a Michigan City business. It's called Maple City Roasters, right? I saw that they had that there. Her favorite is the Highland Grog. I don't know if you can read it. It really and smells so good.
Caramel,
Butterscotchy caramel yumminess.
Yum yum.
Yeah, it really is good. That's Liz's official endorsement. Yum yum. So we're down to it, right? Our last public appearance. We had the other two candidates that it was interesting because Delano's questions. The first one I think was about. I know his second one was about the education system.
But national debt?
Yeah, the first one was about the national debt, and national debt is an issue in this country. Absolutely, our budget needs to be fixed. I'm again the only one who has said anything about Rand Paul's penny plan. It's a good plan, and it would balance the budget within a decade.
Bill Powers even has a good
idea. There are tons of ideas. Here's what I will tell you, right? I will tell you this.
Wait,
didn't
Spencer talk about national debt too?
Yeah, Spencer.
His plan's the same as Massey's plan that Massey's introduced. If they're not the same,
I don't know if it's the same, but it's very similar to Massey's plan.
So that was
that was kind of weird. Spencer's.
Did he credit credit Massey, or did he?
Well,
say
he
that
just
was it?
he just said that the bill he would introduce.
It's
So
already been introduced, Massey.
yeah, I think I don't know. I didn't look. I haven't examined the particulars of what
I
he
thought
claims
he
he
was
would
talking about
introduce.
Massey
I don't
today.
know. But listen, the bottom line is we have had people for many, many years run on balancing the budget, and that's not the number one issue to people. It's just not. We care about it, and I care about it very deeply. I have signed a pledge to introduce a balanced budget amendment. I am fully in favor of plans that will reduce our national debt, but that's not the primary concern for most voters. The polls show differently, right? The polls show that most voters care about health care. Most voters care about, am I going to have a job?
Yeah, most
right?
voters right now care about feeding their kids.
Yeah, most voters care about feeding their kids
kids.
rather than, debt that comes due when. We don't know. It's all numbers. And I'm not downplaying our national debt because it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But we have to do proactive things about it. For example, penny plan.
What was Bill's about
Yeah.
the transaction?
So one of the Republican candidates, his name is Bill Powers.
Very old.
Yeah, he was talking about something about a transaction tax, right? And it's a very simple tax plan that would tax transactions, right?
An extra penny.
It would eliminate income tax. It would eliminate several things, but it would initiate a transaction tax. If you think there's a transaction, then it's taxed. I'd have to look more into it. He gave me a piece of paper out at the USW when they were inviting us in, and I read it. But here's the thing, right? By voting for me, you get someone who's willing to listen to all the other good ideas, because there are good ideas. There are good ideas put forth by other candidates. By voting for me, you get someone that cares about our union members, cares about our manufacturing workers in this district, that is pro-life, that is an amendment, that is pro-constitution. And I think sometimes it gets lost, right? All this talk about the Second Amendment and how the Second Amendment is under attack, we forget that there are other parts to the Constitution, and people tout, I'm pro 2A, and they forget about things like the Fourth Amendment or the 10th Amendment. I value your privacy. I value my privacy. We've seen constant little bits taken away a little at a time, especially when it pertains to the Fourth Amendment protection, right, against search and seizure. And we need someone who is willing to stand up for the rights of you and me. I will do that. So Paul asked, like a usage / tax fee. Yeah, so it's not exactly a usage fee or tax, I guess. Okay, so like let's say I buy let's say I buy a pack of hamburger buns from you. Okay, that's a transaction. I have given you money for a good, right? Goods. So okay, that would be taxed. That transaction would be taxed. I think it's like 0.1% was what he was talking. So if I gave you, let's say, $1, right, then it'd be like 1/10 of a cent or whatever, because 1% would be a penny, right? 1/10 of 1% would be one, whatever. So as it scales up, you get more money, and it would eliminate income taxes. It would eliminate all of that. So here's the thing. It's interesting. I would look at it. Yes, Jack, you are absolutely right. Many people forget Indiana has a constitution also. It's not just the Constitution of the United States of America. There is also a constitution in our great state of Indiana. And to be clear, Indiana's constitution is very, very clear when it comes to our right to keep and bear arms. There is no ambiguous language. There is no no doubt about what it is. Let's take a look here. Here, let's see. Let's see if I can bring it up for you, and you'll see what I mean. Let's take a look here. All right, so let's see. That's not it. Let's go back. Go back one. Not really looking for that. Why isn't it showing me? Let's see if this is it. Here it is. Okay, so let's bring this up here. I'll share the. Yeah, Paul says it goes further in ways. It actually does. Let me share this with you real quick. Okay, so here we go. Boom. Let's bring this up here so you can see. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Obviously, it's a little lengthy. But so Section 1, inherent rights, right? So this actually lines out that all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that all power is inherent in the people, and that all free governments are and of right ought to be founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and well-being. For the advancement of these ends, the people have at all times an indefeasible right to alter and reform their government. So it covers a number of things, right? Right to worship, freedom of religious opinions, freedom of religion, no state money for religious institutions. It does talk about search and seizure, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search or seizure shall be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or thing to be seized. Rights of persons arrested. It covers a lot, right? I want to show you though. Here it is. It's very, very simple here in Indiana. Section 32. The people have a right to bear arms for the defense of themselves and the state. Section 33, military. The military shall be kept in strict subordination to the civil power. I actually am a big fan of the Indiana Constitution. Yeah, so Jack Waters says Article 1, Section 37, no man may be subjugated, right? It says here, there shall be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude within the state, otherwise than for the punishment of crimes whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted. Now, there are those that claim leaving it open for punishment as a crime does create an issue. And I understand that. Paul says, did you say inalienable rights? I don't think those in the back heard. Yes. So the bottom line is we have rights in this country, and our government doesn't grant us rights. These rights are because we are human beings. They are rights of all. They are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All power is inherent in the people. Inalienable rights. These are it's a very important point, and it's really critical. And it's something that a lot of these people forget. They seem to believe that the government has some kind of right granting ability, and that's not the case. Our rights are ours. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about people and their beliefs. You can hope to educate them and inform them, but that's all you can do. Yeah, Paul once brings up magic wand. And look, that's one thing that I want to be very clear on. I support the United States. I support steel. I support manufacturing. There's a reason that I wear this, right? And it's more than just, it's a cool pin, because it is a cool pin, right? It's our country and the flag of our country, but there's two states missing, right? There's two states missing from this, and that's Alaska and Hawaii, obviously. Those are the only two states that I have not personally been to. And that's why I chose this, because you get these politicians and they're supposed to wear the flag. If you remember, Obama decided not to wear the American flag. I'm going to leave that alone. But absolutely, right? Yes, we should definitely have a flag. I have one that has like the crossed flags of both Indiana and the U.S. flag. I have another one that has Israel and the U.S. flag. And then I have this one. And the reason that I really, really like this one is because it represents the states that I've been able to go to, the states that I've been able to personally travel through and deal with the people there. One of the things that we forget of people that travel to Congress that to represent their state in the union is some of these people, many of these people, especially before go into this office, have never even dealt with anyone from out of state. Now, it's a little different for us because we live in Northwest Indiana. We deal with people from Michigan and Illinois all the time, right? But how often do you deal with someone from Nevada? How many people generally deal with someone from Florida or Delaware or North Carolina? I have dealt with people in every single state, sans Alaska and Hawaii, although I do know people who actually are from there. My sister, her mom, my half-sister through my dad, her mom was actually from Hawaii. So I learned actually a lot about Hawaii. It's pretty cool. But there are many people who go to Washington, have never dealt with people from other parts of the country, and don't understand that they have a little different view around the country than we do here. I have dealt with people from all around the United States. I have dealt with people from all across the financial spectrum, from the ridiculously wealthy business owners that I would deliver to. I had a guy, right? Let me tell you this story. I had to deliver to like the middle of nowhere. It was a gravel road that I was on, and I pull up, and this guy wants me to back in his driveway so that I can deliver these pallets of, I don't even remember what it was. And it was this big, massive house and this big, huge yard. And I'm trying to explain to the guy that the road is not wide enough for me to get the tractor around in order to get this trailer backed up into his grass. And he's just like, no, you don't understand. I need this like this. You have to do it like that. I'm like, okay, can I go across your grass? No, don't drive in the grass. I'm like, okay, so here's where we're going to have a problem. Because, and I explained to him about, 53-foot trailer, large conventional tractor, not a cab over, blah, 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 blah. I could go into a bunch of trucking terms, but the bottom line is there wasn't enough room. The gravel road was only barely wide enough for the truck. I was able to do it eventually after explaining to him and showing him, okay, look, I'm going to show you, this is blah, blah, blah. I was able to convince the man that losing a little bit of grass was much better than him having to come out to the road with the forklift and pull it off the truck. But it is what it is, right? You have those people that don't listen. You have those people that you have to deal with. And so Paul says, I know a dude in the Army stationed in Alaska and a former Uper who lives in Hawaii. Yeah. Alaska, I love Alaska and Hawaii. One of these days, I hope to have the opportunity to go and visit them. I think it would be awesome. What? I know. Yeah, my wife had a job where she went around to various places, and she worked for a contractor that worked on Apple Maps, and she had to like map the areas for the thing. Have you seen the vehicle with all the cameras on top? It was a van that she. And yeah, people lost their minds. They thought it was like, being having a celebrity or something. But One of the jobs that they had was to Hawaii, and she missed it by that much. She was so excited about
And
the
then
potential
they
to
got
go.
done with it in like a week, and then they sat there for like
Yeah.
4 weeks.
Yeah, and then they got
paid,
they
and
got
now
done
they-
with it. They got done with it in about a week, and then sat there for like you say like 4 weeks. 4 weeks
in a
getting
hotel
paid,
room.
hotel
On the
room
beach.
paid. They got to hang out on the beach all day. Yeah, there are some jobs out there that make me really question my career choices throughout the years, but it is what it is. There are those that are like, seriously. Yeah, Paul says that'd be fun. It was interesting. She enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It was a good time. She actually went to Detroit and she got to map the vast majority of it, right? Was her team that did almost all of Detroit. And then she went to Cleveland. She didn't like Cleveland. She actually did like Detroit. She enjoyed it a lot. She had a good time while she was there.
Then I went back to Detroit.
Yeah, then she went back to Detroit. Shannon, what's up, man? Good to see you. Chris, good to see you. So yeah, that's where we're at now. I'm really hoping that you'll come out in mass on Thursday or Tuesday. Sorry, on Tuesday. Yeah, if you come out in mass on Thursday, it's too late. We're still trying to figure out where we're going to have our thank you party. Yeah, we've decided to call it a thank you party. Victory is a little presumptive. Defeat is a little presumptive.
Party?
Yeah, or oh my God, watch these
Tom's
people lose their mind.
Attack.
Yeah. My contact has been really bothering me today. I tried to clean it before the thing. So Christopher says Detroit sucks. Sorry, let's go Blackhawks. Yeah. Look, the city of Detroit is incredible. There's a resilience and an amazing
they're Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah, it's Detroit versus everybody, really. It's an amazing resilience and character, strength of character. So yeah, good point, Chris. Democrats vote on Thursday, Republicans Tuesday. That's right. Yeah, so
it's gonna be crazy.
It is what it is. For those of you who have already voted, again, if you voted for me, thank you very much. I appreciate it. For those of you who voted for someone else,
thank you for voting.
Yeah, thank you for voting. Personally, I think you're wrong, but that's okay. For me, here's what it comes down to. I've said it before. I will support whoever I believe is best for this district. I said that on WJOB. It could conceivably cross party lines if I believed in anyone. Probably not.
That would take a lot, though.
It would take a lot.
It would be like one kid going, I'm just going to have everyone drink bleach, and you'd be like, no, I can't.
Right.
I will say that whoever wins is going to need support.
Yeah. Whoever wins.
Voice, yard, whatever.
Whoever wins the primary for the Republicans, especially, is going to need us to unite and come together for them and help them any way that we can. I have my beliefs about whether or not we will win, depending on who that candidate is. I've spoken about this before, but ultimately, I will come together and help whoever the candidate is, especially if it's me. No. Look, I have said before, I am open to the ideas put forth by other candidates. Unfortunately, there are a couple of candidates who don't seem to have original ideas on both sides. They mimic talking points. They parrot things that they've
questionable allies, people that have
that has happened.
Their campaign on both sides.
On both sides. Yeah, there are some people that really are sketchy, and we'll talk about that in its own thing. But here it is. Let's see. It's 8:21. I'm personally hungry. Lunch was delicious, but it's time for some dinner. Yeah, she had to see it in pictures. She's not happy. So I'm going to try to get out to as many polling locations as I can on Tuesday. There are a lot. I'm going to try to get in tomorrow and vote because last day for early voting. Well, no, they have it on Monday.
I want to go Tuesday. Like polls open at 6.
You do, yeah, but
So,
I've been told that I'm not going to have time. I tried to get there today, but unfortunately, my son had to go to work early, and then I had to be at the opening for the offering for the Chernobyls. So yeah, that happened. But hey, you know, the campaigning is almost over for the primary election. For those of you that believe in me, for those of you who have reached out to me, for those of you who have endorsed me, thank you. I will not let you down. I greatly appreciate your faith in me, and I greatly appreciate the fact that I don't have a voting history to show you the way I'm going to vote. What I do have is strength of character. What I do have is consistency, transparency. I've published all my surveys that I've received. Oh, I do want to address one thing. So apparently, there was a survey that by the disabled community.
Ones I guess endorsed McDermott, though no one knows.
Yeah, I guess they ended up endorsing McDermott. I'm not sure, but the survey vanished. I had it. It was a paper survey. It wasn't an email, and we moved around. We did change the office around. Instead of me, when we first set up this whole live stream thing, instead of going out regular campaigning, and apparently it got misplaced. I'm sorry. It does happen, and I do regret that, because I believe I'm probably the biggest advocate for the disabled community out there. I'm really beating myself up on that one. Yeah. And disabled, elderly, that whole population, somehow it got misplaced. I blame her. She says it wasn't her. I don't know. It is what it is. So thank you very much for joining me. I will see you all tomorrow at the regular time. And yeah, maybe you'll see us driving around in Dion 1. Make sure you wave. We will wave back. And listen, between now and Tuesday, if you're watching, if you have a question for me that you don't want put on the air, or you would like the opportunity to meet me face to face, just let me know, right? Call me, leave a message, email me, talk@dionbergeron.com, and I'd be more than happy to come out and meet with you. I'm not going to go knock doors. I think it sends the wrong message. I know there are candidates that are doing it on the Republican side, and I disagree. Here's the thing. I'm not going to take the chance on me spreading something to someone. I'm not going to. I've been told it's just terrible, terrible optics. Now, am I being told that so that I stay home and another candidate can knock doors? Maybe. I have seen some very, very disturbing behavior in this election, both by candidates wishing death on people and candidates claiming one thing and doing another. I put it this way, no matter which way the primary goes, I am going to be telling you all about it. Chris says terrible optics and just not wise. That's what I think. That's my opinion of it. I think it's terrible optics. I think that it's a bad idea, and
you might bring something
you have a potential of not even the CV, right? You have the potential of doing so many things that just could end up very, very badly. But I'm gonna tell you that this election has been very, very eye-opening for me. It has shown me a lot of problems that I didn't know existed with our political system. I knew it was hard for a regular guy to run for office, or a good person to run for office. What I did not expect was some of the party politics for parties to tell you one thing and do another. That was interesting. That was very, very interesting. I was shocked that actually happened. But we'll see what happens, right? Look, no matter whether I win or don't win the primary, I'm going to wait until after the primary. But once the primary is over, especially if I am your presumptive nominee for the Republican Party, you'll find out some very interesting information either way. But yeah, and Paul, you're absolutely right. He says it's not new to us. I know that the political system is jacked up. I know that good people stand very little chance at getting elected especially in the first district, anywhere for any position, just because they play so dirty, right? So dirty. And I get it. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for your support, and we will talk to you again tomorrow night. Have a great night. God bless you, and God bless the USA.